Welcome to the second part of this dashboard. In the previous video, we had actually taken care of this particular aspect right here where we created this particular part of the dashboard. We're going to be having our logic to actually sit on. So now in this video, we're just going to make a little, progress about this dashboard. So if I take you to the finished that project right here, so here we have it. You can see what we have beautifully. When we place our sliders, we have every single thing changing the way it should be. And you can actually look at About Us right here. When you click on it, you have the About Us being popped out and stuff like that. And we have the data that actually make this particular dashboard to come to life, to be in some kind of two different workbooks. So I'm going to be sharing two workbooks with you. Just go and download it and follow along step by step on how we created this. So right now, if you're ready, I'm ready to show you how we can actually get down to do this from the scratch. We're going to start from this particular card. I just have some kind of clicked on where I'm actually hovering and moving the cards right now. We started from there, Ctrl Z, we get it back for us. So let me just take the finished part and see what it is that we're about to create. So right now, if you see here right now, we have comparing October to September. So I'm just going to go right here and clear my filter. If I have my filter cleared away, you're going to see what we have right now. So we are having this particular value right here. It says comparing January to no value because there is no month to compare it with until we actually click on this particular month right here before we can have a month to compare it with. And you can see the variance between the month of February to January is actually 0.4 upgrade and stuff like that, which means the revenue went up, not down. And if I click on any other month right now, the revenue went down by 15.4%. So how do I create this plus current month, previous month, and the variance? So this is exactly what we're about to get into. I'm going to go back to that same workbook again where we're going to have a new dashboard created, and now we need to actually go to this particular data part of it and click on this particular aspect. And what I'm going to do right now is just to make sure I insert a pivot table. I'm going to go pivot table, and because I have existing work sheet before, I'm just going to go for existing worksheet, and now I click on the worksheet I want to use for it. So here we go. I'm going to have to paste it right here. So we go right here. I'm going to say okay to it. That is beautiful. So now we have this particular one pasted right here. So what are we going to do? We start to actually get the logic we really wanted from here. So first of all, I'm going to drag in here is my date column. So I'm just going to put the purchase date right here, and now it breaks it down in so many pieces for me. Like we have the year, the quarter, the month, and the purchase date. So I'm going to move this out, move the quarter out, and as well move the year out. So this is what I really wanted. So I just want this. So I'm just going to go to the top level and make sure I actually format it the way I really wanted. I'm going to my grand total. I'm going to turn off the grand total, and after that I'm going to my report layout and actually make sure it's in tabular form. Now that is how we can see the month order. So we just have something like this. I'm just going to have to copy it all this way and actually make sure I move it. I want to move this. Okay, sorry for that. I want to make sure I move this to the top level for a purpose. So I'm just going to post when I have this cross, I'll double click it and actually move it, and now it's been moved up because I want it to actually align with this for a reason. So I click back on this. What we are trying to actually see the variance and how it grows over time is actually the revenue. So we need to locate the revenue right here, and I'm going to drag the revenue once again. So now you cannot click on it again, because if I click on it to actually have the second one, it's going to be selected. So I just have to make sure I double click and actually drag it right here again. So they're all in sum. I'm just going to go right here and actually come here and actually remove this sum by going to Ctrl H and actually say sum of. So we're going to have to replace this with what? With nothing. So we have to just okay, we have this. Now it's just revenue and revenue too. So right now in this particular part of the revenue, there is something we need to do very importantly. I'm just going to actually right click on it and actually go on this particular part right here. Just tell the Excel to say show value as a percentage difference from, and this is what you need to use. Don't do this else it's not going to be on percentage. I'm going to click on this, and now it's going to be from January. So there is one mistake some people always do is they are just going to click anywhere to do that. So it's going to give some kind of wrong calculation. So just click on OK, and here we have it. So nicely we have just gotten this. So the next step we're going to be doing right now is that we're going to be needing this a lot, this particular sorry for that, yeah, we're going to be needing this particular number part right here a lot. So we might really need to actually make sure we work on this. So how do we do that? I'm just going to go to my top level right here, go to view, and from view, if I right click back again, now you can see we don't have the formula bar right here, so we need to turn on the formula bar. I'm going to go to the view aspect right here and turn on the formula bar, and this is exactly what we have. The formula bar is on right now. So once the formula bar is on, we will be able to see this particular part here. So now I can now go and click on this and make sure I name it like so. It has been named already before. I'm just going to show you again. I'm going to say selected month, selected underscore month. Sorry for that, please, guys. So selected underscore month. So I have this, I'm gonna just lock it like that. So now, because if I am actually outside this place, I don't want to actually scroll back to actually make a selection again. Instead, I will make a reference to the name range I have just got it for this, right? So guys, we are almost there. Let's see the next step we're gonna take to actually have this created. Okay, right now we need to start creating the logic that is going to actually help us to actually get what we wanted to be some kind of visualized, so be really, nice on it. So I'm just going to have this pasted right here. Right now we're going to have to create some columns, and this is exactly what it is. So you have to follow along step by step to see what I'm about to do right here. Now the first thing we're going to do right now is just for you to make reference to a particular month right here. So we're not going to be using this month. Instead, we're going to be using this month because this month is more dynamic than the month we have right on the pivot table. I'm going to reference this month right here for a reason. Don't worry, as we keep going, you will definitely understand why I'm doing this. So right now I have this right here. So after this, I'm going to have to create a month number. So I'm going to put my 1, 2, okay, sorry for that. And I'm gonna have to put 3 right here, and now I don't have to do that over and over again. Just highlight every single thing and make sure you just tap it and it gives you this. But right now, right here, we're gonna be creating something different for a reason. I'll show you why that is gonna happen. So now instead of me to have 1 right here, I'm gonna have 2 here. I'm gonna have my 3 right here, and now I just have to make sure I copy and actually drag this all the way down, and now we're having 13. So I'm just gonna have to cancel it because I don't need it. So yeah, the reason why we're having this right now, let me just go ahead and show you what it is that we're about to use that for. If you come to the finished dashboard area right now, so every single time we make a selection of any month right here, it's actually try as much as it could to pick a particular month before that particular month we have selected. Right now we selected March, and it's actually selecting February to compare it with March that we just have selected. Now the very logic we are just trying to create right now is going to help us to do the same thing we have just seen right there. That was why we created the second month number, and the first month number is going to be picking from the original month we have selected, and the previous month is going to be the one that had been selected previously, right? So let's see what we can actually use this for right now. So the next thing we're going to do right now is just that we just have to actually make sure we bring in the percentage we have right here, which is the percentage variance right here. So we're going to bring that in. So I'm just going to actually click on this and actually tap on this. So you can name it anything you like. I'm going to hit OK, but there is an error right now. I'm going to show you how to fix this. Purposely, I left it to be like this because you need to learn why it is actually like this and how you can actually fix this. I'm just going to Control 1. And what I want to do now, I'm just going to go to percentage and convert it into a percentage, and actually with 1 decimal. And despite this, it's not going to give us what we really wanted, so we can't have it. So we should actually be having the same percentage we have right here on this particular aspect. So why is it not happening? The problem now is that if we double click on this, it's not actually looking at July. So instead, it's actually, concentrating at the month level right here. So how can we solve this problem? So we just have to go back to the pivot table we have created formally before now, and go to the top level right here and actually click on Analyze. And from Analyze, you're going to see this option right here. Click on it, and actually this generates Get Pivot Data. Just actually make sure you actually deactivate it. The mark right here is no more there. So we go back now. So if we go back now, is the problem solved? Definitely the problem isn't solved. So now it's still actually looking at this particular month aspect right here. So what are we gonna do? We just have to make sure we have a new reference to it again, so we can come back right here. Now if I actually make sure I have equal to right here, or if I double click on it now, this is what it's actually getting value from, and it's actually referencing the month part at the top level. So right now you can see is the difference is just going to be, now it's referencing I5, and this is this is the 5th and all that. So if I hit enter right now, instead of it to actually reference that previous one is now referencing the cell that is actually peculiar to this. Like July is for July. If we tap on this, December right now is for December. Beautiful. We have something like this nicely. So now we need to actually get the revenue right here as well, because it's very important. We're going to be needing this revenue for a reason. So we have to abandon this, and this is actually linked to it. So if new data keep coming in, it's going to actually get updated the way it should be. So beautifully, we have something like this. Control 1. We'll make sure we go for the currency, $sign, and actually say okay to it and all of that. So you might want to actually make sure the back end of your dashboard is really tidy and very beautiful, so that whoever comes to actually read the report you have at the back end will be able to tell what it is that you're actually visualizing and what is happening right here. So now we have something like this. What is the next step we're going to take to actually have something beautifully done? Okay, now you have to look at what we have right here. So we have the current month, the previous month, the variance, and the caption. We're going to have all of them right here. So the current month is going to be the month we just have selected on this slicer. So right now, if you look at here right now, we have nothing going on right here. I think I'm going to fix something. Now, if you look at the slicer right now, nothing is being selected. And if you go back to our analyze right here, you can see it's generally that is in view, because it's actually some kind of a default. So we're not going to be using this to analyze our data until we have a particular month selected. So going back to the data part right now, to the dashboard now, if I select this month, so February changes, now March, all of that. So the current month we have on selection right now is going to be this particular month, and right here. So now if I go back to the main, I'm going to go back right here. Now I hit on the dashboard area right here. And now this is the same thing that's happening right here. Every single time I make a selection, it changes. But if I have it cleared, this is what we're going to have right now. We're going to have 0.00 as soon as it actually canceled 0.00. That was because there is no month to actually compare it with. So let us try to actually create a logic that is just going to give us something like that. So you might not really some kind of quite understand right now what is going on. But the first thing you're going to do is for you to download the workbook and actually try as much as you could to actually follow along. So we're going to make selection of this particular month right here. So I'm just going to actually put some kind of month, MONT, so month. So I'll go back, I'll make a reference. I'm a lazy person when it comes to running analysis. I always love to do things that is going to be very easy for me. I don't want to go back there to actually reference that particular part. So I'm just going to type in my month right here. So I think this is the month I have created. I created this month here. So if I hit it, so it gives me March, and the previous month now is what we need to actually go ahead and select. So how do we create the previous month? That the previous month before March is going to be February, right? So we need to actually get February right here. So it's very simple to actually be created. We're going to be using VLOOKUP to actually get this logic created. So let's see how we can actually do that right now. So what you need to do right now, have your equal to in here and VL, a tab key, and now what we are going to do is just to make sure what is the lookup value. The lookup value, if you don't forget, we created something like that the other time. So it's going to be selected month, selected month. So if you followed along quite well, so you understand what is this. I'm going to put my comma right here. The table array is going to be this right here. This is a table array right here. So this is where we're going to be using this particular month number 1 here, not month number 2. So if I hit my comma right now, what do I really want? So I want to actually pull value from the third column right here. I'm going to have my 3 in there. Now what do I want? I need the exact match to be pulled out. So how do I do this? I'm just going to put what? I'm just going to put my 0 and actually close it. And this is all we need to do. Hit the full, okay, hit enter. And I'm going to zoom to actually let you see what it is that we have done. So here we go. Now we have it the way it should be. We have it. So can you see now? We have March on selection. Go back to a dashboard. We selected the third month. It gives us March, and the month before March is actually is February. And if we select December right now, what are we gonna see? Go back right here. We're gonna be seeing November. That is December is what has been selected. The month before December is November. So we're trying to actually make sure we visualize this right at it. Let's see how that can be. So the first we're going to be doing now is actually getting the value for this particular month of December, all of that. So let's see what we can do to get that done. Okay, the next step right now is for we to get the percentage change between December and November. We're still going to use VLOOKUP to do this. You might be thinking like, it's not just VLOOKUP, but the logic behind that is like, you might have done know this before now. Okay, you might have not known this before now. So I'm just going to put my equal to right here and I'm going to actually say, okay, VL and hit tab. Don't forget we have this December coming from the month 12, and we have selected month for it. So selected month. Don't forget we have this created previously before. Now I'm going to pause this formula right here. We pause it. So when we go back right now to see what the selected month is all about, this is the selected month here. So now it's a pivot table that we have right here that is doing this. And here is where we have the selected month created, right? So now we should actually go back and start from where we stepped. Okay, here we go. Now we just have to double click and remove the space we have right here to pause it. Here we go. Now we're gonna have to put that comma, and I'm gonna be looking for the table array. This is where we have to be very logical on what we do right here. Now if you look at what we have here, we are not going to select from the starting point right here because we're not going to be using this now. If we do that, it's going to be picking from here, not here. So instead of that, we're just going to actually say the table array is actually here. That was why we created the second month number. You get it right now. I'm going to put on my comma. And what do I really want to actually have? I want to have value coming from what? Coming from this particular column, which is going to be the third column as well. I'm going to have my trade right here. Now I need the exact match that is some kind of correlated to December percentage change to November. I'm going to have 0 right here. I'm going to have to close this and hit enter right now. And this is what I have. Let's go check it out. This is what it is right here. We might not release some kind of to code with what we have there now. I'm just going to actually put the formats on it. And here we go, 28.5 variance between this and this, right? So this is beautiful. We have just gotten it. So the same thing we had done right now to get the percentage changes, what we're going to be doing to get the what? To get the revenue we have generated. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel again. I always love to do some kind of lazy job right here. You're going to copy this, copy, escape, and actually go for the revenue. And for the revenue on November, we just have to pick that as well. So now for the revenue, what we need to just to change is just to actually have to change this into 4. So we have this. Can you see that? We have this. So now for November revenue, we just have to get November revenue. Now this is something different that we're just going to do to actually have this right now. So for November revenue, things will be a little bit different. So right now, what we need to change, I don't want to change it. You might get some kind of confused on what I'm doing. I just have to delete this away from here and start afresh from here. So we just have to put VLOOKUP as well. And we have to look up this value November. Remember, this value is dynamic as well. We created this dynamic value. I'm going to put in my comma right here. And now it's going to be asking for the table array. So instead of us to start from here right now, we just have to start from this particular aspect and actually make sure we cover the whole part here. I'm going to put my comma. So I want it to come from what? I want it to come from the third column, which is the revenue column. And the exact match is what I'm looking for. I'm going to have it closed and hit enter. And now this is what we have. Now we've just created the previous month revenue, which is November, and the very one we have selected on our slicer is actually December. So if we go back right here right now and select February right now, we go back to analysis. Now it's giving us value for January, which is the later one before the one we have selected on our slicer. Did you get what is going on right now? All right. Now that we have gotten this, what we need to do right now is just to make sure we get the variance. And the variance is this. We just have to actually subtract the current one from the previous one. And the current one is actually February from what? From the later one, which is actually the January one right here. I'm going to hit enter. Remember what just happened? We try as much as we could to actually select here and actually create our variance. So the one we have on the slider we just have clicked on right now is what we're actually comparing to the previous value, right? So we just have to do this. And what we're going to be doing now is just to make sure we have the $sign right on it. Just go right here, tap it twice, and actually use it as much as you want and have it selected. By clicking on escape, you have it go off. Now here is what we have. Can you just get it right now? So we are almost done with it. So if I go to my main dashboard right now, you will see what you are creating is about to make a lot of sense. On our dashboard right here, we've gotten this created and we've just gotten this created. So we need to actually create the 2 captions we have right here. So how do we go about the caption? Let's go get it. So for the first caption, what we're going to be doing is just for we to have our equal to, and I'll put double quotation mark right here. And what I'm going to type in is actually comparing what and another double quotation right on it. So you make sure is the double quotation is actually spacing, and actually the word you have inside is going to be in the middle of it. So now what are we going to have? We're going to concatenate this with an ampersand. And what we need to do, comparing what? Comparing February So another ampersand right here again. Now we just have to put another open quotation mark, double one right here. I'm going to type into and actually have it some kind of closed, and the under ampersand again, I'm going to have this particular month right here. So if I now hit enter, here is what we have, comparing February to January. This is exactly what we need to actually get. So the next one is actually going to be another caption again that we have. So let me show you the caption we're about to create again for which to actually get what it is. So every single time we make a selection right here, it's going to tell us if it is up or down. So now it says revenue went up in February compared to January sales. So if I click on this now, where we have it down is telling us that revenue went down in March compared to February sales. So how do we create this? Let's go ahead and do that right now. So the next caption right now is going to be revenue went up in X, Y, and Z compared to X, Y, and Z sales. So how do we do this? It's going to be some kind of complicated, right? Not really complicated. It's just the same thing as what we had done right here. I'm going to put on my equal to right here. So right now, pay attention to this. So we're going to be saying equal to, and we're going to actually have to use if condition to actually get it done. So if this particular value right here, this value is greater than or equal to 0, so what you're going to have here is going to be some kind of open quotation mark right here, and actually type in your revenue. So revenue went up in what? Revenue went up. I'm going to actually have to close the quotation mark and put the ampersand to concatenate this. So revenue went up in February. That is the month we have a revenue to actually go up. So right now, because it's up, so I'm going to have to close the ampersand right here. And the next thing I'm going to do is actually open that quotation mark, put a space on it, and actually type in what? Compare. So compared to, now we just have to actually close the quotation mark right here again, close it, and put on that ampersand right here, and actually select this month. Do you get what is going on right now? So it's going to give us revenue went up in January compared to February sales. So now under ampersand, and I'm going to put on that quotation mark again, I'm going to type in sales right here. So sales, have it closed. I'm going to put my comma. Now, before the comma, what we have is that if this particular percentage right here is greater than or equal to 0, just give us revenue went up in this particular month compared to this month right here. That is if it is true. Now when we have a comma right on it right now, if it is the opposite part of what we've just said right now, what do we really want? So what we want is something different. So it's just gonna be something very different. Let's check it out and see what it is. So right now we need to open on that double quotation mark right here, give it a little space, and actually say this. We can actually go ahead and copy this and just make a little change, not to type it over and over again. Paste it right here. So instead of up here, we're just gonna put down. So we're gonna put down. So revenue went down in what? So we just have to still have to copy from here. I'm gonna copy from here. I'm gonna copy from here. Copy from here. I'm gonna have to copy. I'm gonna have to paste it right in here. Can you see this right now? I think we should be good to go. If I hit enter, can you see this? Perfectly, it works well. Revenue went up in February compared to January sales. So if we go ahead and select something different right now, let's go for what? Let's go for this particular month here. And I'm going to go back to my analysis. So revenue went down because it's on minus. Revenue went down in March compared to February sales. This is perfect visualization, right, guys? So what we're going to do right now is just to go back to our dashboard area right here and start the visualization right on this particular part. So what I'm going to do for the first time, I'm just going to go on insert, from insert, click on this aspect here and go for shape. I'm going to take this text box. I'm going to actually have to drag it right here. Quickly, I'm just going to type in equal to and go pick it up. Pick it up from here. So here we go. We put a percentage right on it for the first time. And we're just going to come right up here and make sure it's bold and actually very bold. Okay. Okay, I'm clicking back again. I'm going to go back. So it's on bold. I'm going to centralize it. So after we might have done that, we're going to crank it up a little bit. So Now we are done with this. So we're just gonna have to right click on it and actually go to what format shape. So we have this. So right now, what we have to concern ourselves about right now is actually go to fill and say no fill, and we have to go to the fill, like the line color or the border whatsoever, and say no line or no border for it. So I'm gonna go back right here right now and make sure I convert this into a under color. So we have something like this. Are we cool with this? Not really, I'm not sure. So we can actually make sure we click on this. We have to centralize this right now. I'm gonna actually go right here, go to format, and from format we have to pick on align, and I'm gonna align middle. I'm gonna go right here and say align center, centralize it. Okay, fine, we have something like this. So once we have this, what we need to actually bring on again is actually I'm gonna actually have to drag this down and go back. I'm gonna pick something different. So this time around we're gonna have to go for what? Go for this particular part here, and here we go. We have to extend it. We have to extend it. So I might not have a perfect, work right here, but if you're doing this for yourself, you know what to do to actually have it the way it should be. I'm gonna have to make sure I crank it up a little bit. Okay. So we're gonna put it on white, something like this. Be cool. So we just have to still have it extended, because I'm gonna actually extend it to this end. I'm gonna come right here because I want to have it in the middle. So now we have it. So we just have to double click, just click on Ctrl D and have it right here. I'm gonna have it here as well. So we just make sure we take it to this end. And right now what we need to do is just for it to pick the other part of it. So equal to, and actually go back again and pick this right from here. So I'm gonna pick this. So we go back, and when something is missing, it's just gonna be revenue. So we have to put our R right here. So if I hit enter right now and go back, this is what I have. So we just have to quickly make sure we actually change this. Now I'm gonna actually use this particular type of faint white color whatsoever, and we just have to, it's not right on it, so we have to use this, and we might want to actually crank it up a little bit to actually make sure it's very much seen. And now we have something like this. So I don't want to reinvent the wheel again. I can actually go ahead and copy the part of this particular dashboard right here, right on it. So I'm talking about this here. So we can actually get this away from here to actually have some kind of beautiful work right on it fastly. So back to our dashboard area, I'm going to have it pasted in here and actually make sure I centralize it. So all we need to do right now is just to make sure we move it and actually make sure it's sitting tightly the way it should be. I'm going to actually move it down right here. So we just have to keep moving it, and we have to let it be like this. So I think right now we have more allowance at the top level for the other part of the dashboard is coming up. So I'm just going to have to drag this down. So we have to drag this down just this way. I think we are cool with this. So the next we're going to be doing right now is just to make sure we have some caption right here to actually, give meaning to what figures we're going to be having right here, right now. Okay, here we have it. So we have the current month, the previous month, and the variance. In case you're surprised how we did this, it's very simple. All you just have to do is just to go to your insert, and from insert, click on this particular part right here and go to the shape. And click on your shape. When you click on your shape, you have to pick this right here and hit on your shift key to have it dragged and to create a perfect circle. When you create a perfect circle, I'm going to be making it some kind of big for now, and you just have to right click on it and go to format shape, or you Ctrl+1 to do that. What you need to do right now is just to actually come to the fill area and say no fill, and have it closed, and go to this particular part here where we have the width, and actually make sure you increase the width to something as big as this. And now what we did is actually we use what we call a gradient line. So we have this, and you remove the extra stops away from here. Once we have that done, we can give it the kind of color we really want to use on it. So we have this particular first color, and we come right here, we can choose any other color for it, and here we go, we have it. So you can hold on your shift again and actually make it smaller, just like what we have right here. Now you have it. So you have the logic of what we've just done, and we have some of this selected. So all we need to do right now is just to select this one as well, and have this selected. I'm gonna actually have to move this to the top level, right to this particular axis here. So once I've done this, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna actually have to select this and go click on this. We want to have to bring in our current month in here. So for the current month, I go to analysis, and I'm going to go forward for the current month. The current month is actually this right here. This is the value we want to have for the current month. We have it. And now for the previous month, you know what the value is all about. I'm going to come right here and pick the value of the previous month, and this is the value of the previous month right here. Hit enter, and now for the variance, we have created a logic for the variance. I'm going to click on the variance, go back to analysis, and pick the variance right here, and here we have it. So we have a very dynamic, okay, I'm going to go right here and actually have to make sure I format it to something I really wanted. So I just have to go with this color. So I have to make it bold and crank it up a little bit. Something like this would be very cool. And now I just have to make sure I pick this and actually, give it the same formatting right now. So if you look at what we have right here, I can actually make sure I move this a little bit away from this particular circle. So here we go. So we're not too cool with what we have here. Just make sure you go with this and actually make sure you move it up to be aligned with this. So we want to be aligned to be in the middle of the circle. So here we go. We have something like this. So we can now go on a full screen to see what we have just created and how beautiful this is actually, how beautiful it is on our dashboard. So we have it on 100% right now. I'm going to actually move it up. And now to have a full screen, just go back, go to view, and from view, select this particular formula bar. And here is what we have. And now if we place a filter right on it, we can see what we have right here. So can you see what we have? So we are comparing this and we are showing us this. So we can actually go ahead and actually make sure we crank this up a little bit to actually make sure this is actually standing out from the rest of, because this is our main focus right here. The other part of it is just an elementary aspect of it. So this is our main focus here. Our main focus, just make sure you move it up a little bit and stuff like that. So can you see this right now? Guys, we have done a very, very thorough job right on this. So in the next tutorial, we're going to be taking a look at how we can actually some kind of create the other part of this dashboard and make it seem tell a very nice story, get it completed and stuff like that, and actually start to plan for a new dashboard. Guys, thank you very much for watching. If you're still here, I respect you. Thanks for a lot, and stay blessed, stay out of trouble, and keep coming. Subscribe and like, share to your friends.